In a dimly lit underground arena somewhere in Bangkok, the crowd roared with an energy that seemed to shake the concrete walls. Two fighters stood across from each other, their eyes locked, their reputations hanging in the balance. On one side, Iko Uwais, the explosive Indonesian martial artist whose lightning-fast Silat and breathtaking agility had stunned audiences around the world. On the other, Jean-Claude Van Damme, the Belgian legend who had carved his name into martial arts cinema history with raw power, graceful kicks, and a presence that made the screen quake. This wasn't just a fight, it was a collision of eras. Iko Uwais burst on the global scene with The Raid, Redemption, a visceral, bone-shattering film that redefined modern martial arts action. Trained in Penchak Silat from a young age, Uwais brings a kind of raw, streetwise energy to his style. His movements are fluid yet violent, like water with razors beneath the surface. There's an unpredictability to him. Elbows from nowhere, sweeps that drop opponents like thunder. Strength-wise, Iko thrives on speed, creativity, and precision. He doesn't just attack, he overwhelms. His background in choreography also means he knows how to sell a hit while maximizing impact. Few can match his intensity in close-quarters combat. His stamina and reflexes are off the charts, making him a nightmare in sustained engagements. But there are chinks in the armor. Iko's style relies heavily on movement. If you can slow him down, the rhythm breaks. His attacks, while fast, can lack the heavy impact of a seasoned power striker. And while his technique is honed for cinematic brilliance, real fights demand more than speed alone. They demand timing, patience, and control. Van Damme, in his prime, was a force of nature. The muscles from Brussels didn't just star in martial arts movies. He defined them with a background in full-contact karate, kickboxing, and ballet, yes, ballet, which explains his extraordinary balance and flexibility. Van Damme brought grace to brutality. His signature spinning kicks were as beautiful as they were deadly. His strength was grounded in raw athleticism and timing, the sort of calculated violence that made every strike count. He could read opponents, bide his time, and explode with precision. While critics often downplayed Van Damme's skills in favor of flashier modern fighters, what they missed was his deep understanding of combat rhythm, his control of distance, his counter-striking, and his eye what made him more than just a movie icon. He was a true warrior. However, Van Damme wasn't flawless. Age may have dulled some of the lightning in his legs. His style, though effective, was sometimes rigid compared to the unpredictable chaos of modern fighters. But what he lacked in novelty, he made up for in experience and fight IQ. When the bell rang, it was clear Iko wasn't wasting time. He charged in, launching a barrage of attacks designed to disorient and overwhelm. His Silat flared, elegant and feral, as Van Damme absorbed, ducked, and deflected. For a few rounds, Uwais seemed untouchable. But then, something shifted. Van Damme began to adapt, his footwork tighter, his eyes sharper. He let Uwais come in, then struck like a cobra. A spinning back kick landed flush, halting Iko's momentum. Another round, and Van Damme started picking his shots, punishing Uwais' failed entries with brutal counterstrikes. The fight wore on. Uwais still danced, still threatened, but the tide had turned. The veteran's patience, his strength, and his deep well of experience were rising to the surface. And in the final round, with both fighters bloodied and weary, Van Damme feinted low, drew a desperate high block, and delivered a textbook roundhouse to the temple. Iko dropped. In the end, it wasn't just strength or speed that determined the winner. It was wisdom. Van Damme endured the storm, adjusted his sails, and used every ounce of his decades-honed technique to overcome a younger, faster foe. Jean-Claude Van Damme proved that legends don't fade, they evolve. In a world racing toward the future, sometimes it's the master of the past who still knows how to win.